Hello everyone and welcome to the second video of my capstone project called Shining a Light on Fanconi Anemia. I'm Alex Vandermeis and I'm here with my bone marrow donor, Adam Schreiber. Hi Adam. So my first question for you is I would like you to just tell us a little bit about yourself and your family.
Okay, so like Alex said, my name is Adam Schreiber. I'm 44 years old, been married for 20 years. I have three children, Mary, Lucy, and Adam Jr. Um, Live in East Troy, Wisconsin, kind of outside Milwaukee area. Um, was a Catholic school teacher for 20 years and actually just recently stopped doing that and changed careers. Um, A little bit about me. Been in Wisconsin, yeah, my whole life, Southeast Wisconsin area, and that's me, Adam Schreiber.
Nice. Why did you decide to register to be a bone marrow donor?
Okay, so little story to that. When I went off to college, met some great guys, and one of those guys came down with leukemia in his first year of college, and he left school for a year, battled that. His brother was his donor, got better, went into remission. Came back to school. Everything was great. We all continued on, and he joined us, with us again. And once we all graduated, and life went on. It was great. And then, so because he came down with leukemia, he stayed attached to that cause, just like Alex is doing today for Fanconi anemia. And he was at a Be the Match event, and he called me up. I must have been now. So my girls were little. They were like 2, 3, 4 years old. And I remember taking him to this event. So 15 or so years ago. And it was a free event. You go there, they just swab your mouth with like a cotton swab. And there you go. You're on the registry for life. And they basically just tell you if you're ever a match, then we'll contact you. And so that's how I came to be on the registry, through a friend who battled leukemia there. So that's how I became on the Be the Match registry.
Nice. That's a great story. Is your friend doing okay today?
Follow up with that, and Alex, you probably know this too, because of the illnesses that people get, they go through a lot of radiation, chemotherapy, and he did go into remission, and everything was doing, was great. He got married, and this is where the story takes a sad turn. He got married, his wife became pregnant, and he had a heart attack at age 35 while working out at a YMCA. And they attributed the radiation and chemo to that death because it caused damage to his heart, which is something that people know happens due to those medicines. And so at the age of 35, it was very sad, very sad.
Thoughts and prayers go
To
out to his family.
yeah, yeah. So
Well, how did you find out that you were a potential bone marrow, like that your bone marrow was a potential match for a child in need? What was
okay. Well, it was 2012, the end of a school year, 2012 in May. A lady had called my wife for, I don't know what the reason was. My wife took the call and said, your husband is a match. We need to get a hold of him. And right away, my wife was like, and it was like the end of the day, it was like 2:30. So like the end of a school day. And then she got a hold of me right away at the end of the school day. And so you got to call this lady back right away. You're a match, and it's dire. Like they need you to know and respond right away because your situation. If I remember right, you were being checked to be a donor for your sister, right? And that's how I came to find out that you were not doing well at the time.
Yep.
So right away I called back. They said, "Yep, we need you to come in as soon as you can." And so that was like end of May, and they got me in there. We looked it up. It was June 13th of 2012. So just about 2 or 3 weeks later, they had me in there, ready to donate.
So, what was the process of donating a bone marrow?
Okay, so I'd always thought it was like a painful process where they go into like your spine, and they do that, I think, still today. Maybe not. Things evolve so quickly. But mine was not that way. And I learned about that. Actually, a colleague of mine, a second grade teacher, a man, was a match for a lady in Europe, and that's how they um, did the transplant, was like through his spine. And he said, yeah, it was kind of painful. But anyway, when it came for my turn to go in, it was like giving blood, but it took 4 hours. That's basically
Oh,
what it was. So I sat in a chair. They immobilized me for that time. That 4 hours, I had both arms out like you're giving blood. They took the blood out of one arm, put it into a machine, and centrifuged out what they needed, which looked like a pinkish orange liquid is what they needed.
huh.
And then they put back the blood cells that you were not going to receive back into me. So it was kind of a circular process of just what they just needed, what they needed out of the blood, and then return the rest to me. 4 hours, and I was out of there. It was real easy.
Nice and easy. Nice. Did you have to take
Yeah.
any shots for it to like keep your immune system up or your counts up?
Yeah, I'd forgotten about that. Yeah, they did give me 1 or 2 rounds of shots to boost those counts, probably those blood counts and things. Yeah.
That makes sense. Were you scared or nervous at all going into it?
No, not at all. Once I learned it wasn't the traditional or older way to do it, and they told me what it was going to be like, and like if you've given blood, it's just like that, just longer. And so yeah, I wasn't scared or nervous or anything.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What details did they tell you about the recipient of your bone marrow?
Not a whole lot. At the time they called me in May of 2012, it was basically just a boy. You were 10 or 11, I think, at the time, like end of fourth grade. I think that would have been for you. So there's just an age and a boy, and in U.S. I don't tell you
Yeah,
anything
very
more than
vague.
that. Confidentiality reasons, things like that. So.
Yeah. Were you given
and
any?
and what the cause was, FA. They told
Oh,
us that was what. So then, of course, we're googling that and trying to
yeah.
find out what FA is all about. And, yeah.
What the heck even is that?
What's that?
Like what the heck even is FA? I mean, that must have
Oh,
been.
right. And you start digging into it, and you're like, this is ridiculous. There's like hardly anybody with this FA that
Yeah,
worldwide, and it's pretty incredible. So.
it's crazy. So, were you given any updates on how I was doing at all?
A little. So be, before we got onto this Zoom, Reese and I, my wife's name is Reese. We kept like letters from your mom, over the years here. It's been what now, 8, 9 years,
Yeah.
and you had sent me, and I don't even know if you remember this, 6 months after the transplant. So it was like January of 2013.
Oh,
You had sent me a card, and all it said was like, here, I'm gonna pull it up. We had like right here. I can read it to you.
yeah.
Um, it says, "Dear donor, I just wanted to thank you for giving me your stem cells." And you like misspelled cells and crossed it off and put 2 little L's over it. You were like, you were fourth, fifth grade or whatever. I
Yeah.
think that was so awesome of you. And then you signed it, the recipient. So donor from recipient. So we didn't know, like, so they gave you an address, obviously. So you could send that. But so that was 6 months, afterwards. So,
Oh, wow. Okay.
so
When did you find out that my transplant, sorry, was a success?
um, I guess it would, well, I don't know. The success is kind of loose word because as like these things take time. Like, okay, we've given you the bone, the stem cells. Now we wait and see what happens. So I think probably like that letter from you, the 6 months, like, oh, okay, great, he's doing great. Like we got a letter from him, and things are going well. But then really don't know much more until that 1 year time, which is probably where you're headed next year with, once that 1 year is up, then people can start to find out more information. So go ahead and after that. Yeah, it's on the, I don't know if you can, before you go on here, there's me.
Oh yeah.
Sitting in the chair, you kind of see it just like giving blood or whatever. Yeah. So, so yeah. Reese's finding me stuff as I go here. So okay, go ahead.
So what can you tell us about like it's like the 1 year mark? Like what did you figure out at that mark?
Okay, so then at that point, on my end and on your mom and dad's end, they, does everybody want to know who everybody is? They all say yes, sign on a waiver. And then at that point, then you get, your name, your city, your state, parents' names, and then phone numbers and all that. And then, at that point, then I can't quite remember, either I called your mom called me, and it was, summertime. So it would have been 1 year because we did that in June. So yeah, the next summer, then we started talking and figuring out who people were and how things were going and that you were doing fine and all that. So.
What do you remember about our first interaction, our first time actually meeting each other?
So that would have been 2014. I think Reese found it here. Here's the event. The parents and others organized the Band Brew Barbecue. It was at the Schreiber, I think I'm saying that right, Ironworks.
Yep.
And we set it up to, oh geez, here we go. Here's you as a little kid.
Oh my gosh.
A
while ago.
You and the McQueens, put out. So we had set it up that, hey, let's get together. I want to come out there. Let's go to this auction, this event. And you weren't there because kids weren't at the event.
No.
It was an adult fundraiser type thing. So what happened? Once we came out, I stayed with your family for a couple days, and I'll backtrack a little bit. At my school, so it was Lent, right, before Easter, and I came up with a thing for a school project to do a Lent fundraiser for FA. So we got it out to all the families, raised a bunch of money, kids donated. Reese has an aunt who was a wonderful lady who donates to many causes. We asked her, she helped us out. So when it all came time to go, it was April 25th, so Easter might have been kind of late that year or something like that.
Yeah.
And so I came out, and I think the school, along with Reese's aunt, was $3,000 or something, maybe $2,500, something like that I brought along to donate at the event. And at the event, people got up and and they talked. Your parents talked, the McQueens, and then they had me talk a little bit, and then I talked about how we raised money during Lent for FA and presented the check to your parents, and people crying, clapping. It was a nice little moment for everybody, and it was great to be there. It really was. So that was the first time we got together. It was at April 25th. What did you say? 2014? Yeah, 2014 was on that one. So
yeah, sounds about right. What does your family think about this whole experience?
I hope they're proud of me. And I know they are. It's been educational for them, and as a parent, there's so many things you want to teach your kids and have them learn from you, and hopefully that through this process they that they learn that you can donate all kinds of money to things, and you can have all of that, but at the end of the day, if you can do something that's one-on-one with somebody through medicine, which is incredible, that's hopefully that's what they take from it, is that wow, Dad did that, and I'm going to maybe do that myself someday. I'm gonna get when I'm 18, I can be on the registry, or just donate blood, right? I mean, just as simple as donating blood to your local blood bank. There's, hospitals are always in need, especially during this COVID time where they're desperate for different blood from people. So yeah, just passing that on. That spirit of giving to your kids is cool.
It is cool. Yeah. And I remember when you guys came over, it was like we had like the transition, like to get to know each other. In like the first like few hours, there was like a little like awkward, I guess, because like we didn't know each other, and it was just like meeting each other for the first time. But I remember by the end of your guys' stay here, it felt like we'd known you guys forever. Honestly, it was just hanging out with your kids, and just playing video games, going to the pool. We had such a good time.
Yeah, absolutely right. It's for people that are going to watch this, my children are pretty much the same ages as Alex and Jacqueline. Got a daughter who's a junior, a daughter who's a sophomore, and a son who's in 7th. And yeah, it just couldn't work out any better that your family is so much like my family. And then kids are kids. You guys gravitate toward fun things when you get together, and like games and swimming. Yeah, it was cool.
And that was one of the things that I remember my family, like my mom and dad, like took away from like when we first met you, like when we first talked over FaceTime way back when, was that how similar our families are, and how like we both have like a German descent, how our families, like our kids, like the kids are the same age. And I don't remember for sure what grade you taught when you were teaching. It was fourth grade. And I was in the like just at the end of my 4th grade. So that was
it's a coincidence, how that all happens.
Yeah.
Powers beyond our own.
Yeah. That was crazy for sure. What can you tell us about your experience with the Milwaukee Brewers?
Oh, okay. So the Milwaukee Brewers have racing sausages, kind of like the Nationals have those presidents, right? Like those bobblehead president type guys. The Brewers are, I think, probably the first team to come up with those giant running mascots, and now you've got like many Major League Baseball teams that do that. But anyway, it was right after college, and a friend of my wife's from high school loves the Brewers. He's like, hey, they're hiring for racing sausages. Who can anybody do this? He lives in Kansas City now. And Maurice is like, well, yeah, Adam doesn't do anything in the summer. Like he could do it, which is a joke. Right? Plenty of things, doing. And when you have kids, you do that. But so I signed up, sent a resume, I guess you'd say, to be a running sausage. And they had me come in, and I had to put the suit on and run around and tell my favorite brewer moment, dance, polka. Wisconsin does a lot of poking, I guess, or we used to. And tell about my favorite brewer moment. And then sure enough, they're like, okay, great, you're hired. A funny story about racing as a sausage. One time the Food Network came, and they were doing a special on ballpark foods. So brats, Italians, hot dogs, Polish sausages, things like that. So they said, okay, we're gonna film the race today, and we want the Italian sausage to win the race. So I happened to be running that day, and I said, okay, so Adam, you be the Italian, you're gonna win the race. Where the races are early on, they were determined, right? Like, okay, this sausage is gonna win the race this day and whatever. So today they wanted the Italian to win. So we get in the suits, no big deal. And we go, and I'm running. You run from like left field wall all the way to the right field wall around. And about halfway through the race, I feel my right hamstring pull. And I'm like, oh, if you ever pull the hamstring, it's not fun. It's difficult to keep moving. It hurts. So, but in my mind, I'm like, well, I'm in the Italian and it has to win because that's what they want, this Food Network. So I finish the race. Halfway around, I'm running on a bad hamstring. I finally get off the field. I win the race. That's important. I get off the field, I sit down in the tunnel where nobody can see me, and everyone's like, what are you doing? What's going on? And I'm inside my suit, and there's a little face thing. I pulled my hamstring. I can't walk. I can't move. So they wiggle the suit off of me. They throw me in one of those little mini ambulance carts that go around the park, and they take me into the trainer, and they look at me, they basically just give me some Advil, and they threw me in a wheelchair and sent me out to my car, and I drove home. And the lady I worked for called Reese and said, Adam's okay. He just pulled his hamstring running the race. And of course, my wife's just ready to just give it to me, just laugh, and just like, you cannot, you pulled your hamstring running a race, like this is crazy. So I laid on the couch for about 2-3 days because I couldn't do much. And to this day, if I do something stupid and I run too fast, I'll pull that hamstring, and it reminds me of racing and suit. So, yes, but I made it. Live to see another day, I guess.
That's what matters.
All right, so that's my Milwaukee Brewer story.
My last question for you is, when our family eventually comes up to Wisconsin, what are the top 3 activities that we have to do there?
Well, I'm going to assume you're probably thinking like statewide, like what is it? Like what is it known for kind of thing? Like,
sure.
Obviously Brewer game, you go and you do that kind of thing. I would say Lambeau Field for the Packers definitely is, from a sports standpoint, people that are into sports.
Yeah.
We have a place called the Wisconsin Dells. It's about 2 hours from us. It's in the central part of the state. It's basically called the water park capital of the world, and it has like, I don't even know how many water parks. It's pretty insane, touristy place for people to go to. Then I would say, like, if you're into music, Milwaukee has what they claim to be, and I believe it is. It's the world's largest music festival. It's called Summerfest. Wow. I believe it goes on for almost 2 weeks at the end of June or July. So it's pretty long music festival, and it's down by the lakefront. Yeah. Where there's, I don't know, probably hundreds of bands play on these multiple stages. That's a huge draw for people. It's called Summerfest. So between the sports and the water parking, and then Wisconsin's famous for lakes. I mean, the boating around here and the water sports around here. As a geeky 4th grade teacher, facts that I have, there are over 15,000 lakes in the state of Wisconsin.
Wow.
And many of them, there's so many that many of them aren't even named. Right? They're too small, and people can't even really live around them. There's just so many lakes, mostly in the northern part of the state. But there's quite a few lakes in the south.
Well, Adam, I wanted to say thank you for taking this time out of your day to talk with me. I had a blast talking with you. It's nice to catch up. Thank you so much for this. And I wanted to say to the people watching that thank you so much for sticking around to this point. And if you are 18 and you want to donate or be on the registry to be a bone marrow donor, I'm partnering with Be the Match. So if you will text the number, I believe it'll be on my Instagram, and then text match for FA, you can start the process and have a kit sent to you where you can swab your mouth and be on the registry for life. And so if you're interested in that, you can check out my Instagram and text the number that will be on there. Thank you again, Adam, for
You're welcome.
Second interview.
You're welcome.
I think that's about it.
Best of luck. Awesome. Best of luck with your project. And like Alex said, get on that registry. Right, super important. You just never know. Many years went by, and then all of a sudden I get a call out of the blue, and a friendship ensues, and families and knowledge and everything grows, and here we are. So
yeah,
best of luck to you. Best of luck in college. Hokie, right?
Virginia Tech.
You're gonna be a Hokie.
Yep.
Hokey. I don't know what a hokey is, but it sounds good. I don't know.
I don't really know either.
We'll find out together. All right. Sounds good.
All right.
Take care of yourself. Say hi to everybody.
I will. Bye, Adam.
All right. Cool. Bye-bye. Yep.